Jesus, a long time ago, said to love your enemies. Now, I experience some things sometimes, like, I feel like I want to cut somebody's head off, even because I get so mad at somebody. Man, oh man. Especially when somebody messes with your girl or anything like that. And let's say that girl was somebody you loved or that you wanted to marry, and he hit her, or something like that. You know, there's always times to fight, and, like, what do you do in these types of situations? You know what I'm saying? Now, I mean, you got to be a Christian even in these situations, and God calls for it. He does. Honest to God. Like, you have to think about it. Does he really? Yes. God calls for you to be Christians in every situation. Now, I haven't figured out that answer, but I did figure out the answer to love your enemies. Now, I will say this. Quick story. I know this woman, and I used to work with her a long time ago. She told me a story about something that happened to her and her family. Her husband died, and he was shot in the head. He was murdered. Okay? Now, this is a very honest woman. You know, she has no reason to look for anybody's pity or anything like that. And she's really humble too. Okay? So for her to open up to this, we actually got pretty close. And obviously something that troubled her because you're going to miss your husband. So he has 3 kids, and one of them is like 2 years younger than me, and the other ones are pretty young. And he left this family alone. You know, this guy just comes up to the guy's car and he told him his name. Are you this? And he goes, yes, that's my name. Bam, bam, just like that. And he didn't even die right away. He died like 2 days later, and his family had to watch. Now, the crazy part is that she had to see this guy in court when they caught him. And then I told her, I was like, oh my God. Like, I can't believe, like, what you would have to go through when that happened. And she said, you know, like, she wasn't saying this to show off. She wasn't saying this to make herself look good. She told me I forgave him. And I prayed for him. And she said that before I could even have a reaction in my mind or something like that. I'm like, oh my gosh, what is she doing? She said, I forgave him, and I prayed for him, and I felt sorry for him. And when she said that, I looked at her in the eyes. I've never seen anybody more serious in my life when she said that. She said, I felt sorry for him. And she said that not with hate, but with love. Like, as if she was her, like the guy was her son or something. You can't help but look at somebody like that and say, that's a perfect mother right there. And who is the perfect mother in existence? Mother Mary. And she did resemble her right then and there. Now, when you think about any one of your problems, if a woman like that, she has every reason to even wish death upon him, for him to want to go to hell, everything. She has that right by God, she has that right. Not even just by man, but she has that right by God. But she didn't. Because a long time ago, Jesus said, love your enemies. And I asked her, why? Why did you do that? And that's exactly her response. She told me, because Jesus told us. Because Jesus told us you have to love your enemy. You have to forgive people. She literally lived his words. When I saw that, I was like, do any of us really have a reason anymore? I was like, do we have a reason anymore to, like, if a woman like this who has a right to wish death upon him, for him to want to go to hell and everything, even kill him, to forgive him? Because Jesus, a long time ago, he didn't demand, you have to love your enemies. He didn't recommend even. He just simply, and it was barely even a statement, it was more like a request. He said, love your enemies. He requested it, that's it. He said, love your enemies. And she lived those words. It was just a request, and she lived it. Now, I don't think that any of us have an excuse at that point. But of course, everything is different, you know, because, like, wow. But if you really think about it, if you really truly think about it, you don't have to like say, I love you to that person for killing my family. No. You basically feel sorry for them because that's honest to God, because now they just damned their soul to hell. And there's almost like no redemption from them at this point. And a lot of us, we make a lot of mistakes, don't we? And don't we redeem our mistakes every time through confession and Eucharist? So now this soul has damned himself. You have to pray for him, because maybe God will pardon him. And you know what? I know you probably don't want them to, but it's not about you. Because a long time ago, that could have happened to you, even if you were in his shoes. You don't know. You don't know. You really don't. You know? So, let's say, loving your enemies takes forgiveness first. Because you can't love without forgiving. Forgiveness and love comes hand in hand. So you have to forgive them first. And it's not for them, it's for yourself. You don't literally go up to the door and knock on the door and say, hey, I forgive you. No, 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 no. Because hate is something that you carry around like luggage. Every time you're obligated to hate. Every time. Let's say if you're a racist, that every time you see a black person, you're obligated to hate them every time. So every time you go out or you see a black person, there you go again. You just carry that luggage and you have to open it up and say, I hate him, blah, 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 blah. It takes work. It takes a lot of work. There's a lot of black people out there, man. Especially when you live in Detroit. There's a lot of black people out there to hate. That takes a lot of work. Hate takes a lot out of you, too, so it's not something simple. When you make a statement like, I hate you and mean it, whew, oh, man, that takes a lot of work. No, love doesn't take nothing at all. Nothing at all. Just love them, and that's it. Just like a dog who's man's best friend. You guys you don't even communicate with each other. All you know is that you love each other. And he pets you and licks you and everything like that. He doesn't do that because he likes being petted on or anything. He loves you, and you love him. Like, it's a mutual bond between two creatures that don't even say two words to each other, but they can understand love. You know what that is? Love is God. Okay? So that means they're communicating through God. That means everything is possible through God, and nothing is it without him. So, forgiveness. Okay? Hate is one thing. You have to carry it around like luggage. Now, forgiveness is something different. When you forgive, you're forgiving the inside and say, I forgive you. And then you let go of the luggage. So that now when their name is brought up, or when you hear about them, you don't have to be obligated to hate them anymore. And to keep you secure from that, you pray for them. Jesus told you even go even further than that. You pray for them. Even further than love, he told you to pray. He told you to pray for them. Because you pray for the ones you love. Honestly. A lot of us don't. But that's even greater gesture than love. Like when you think about it, like, wow, you prayed for them. Like, prayer is 1,000 times stronger than any other weapon on this earth. So, do you know why he tells you to do this? Think about one thing. Because think about if you surround yourself by the same, you are who you surround yourself by. So, and it's not just who you surround yourself by, but what you surround yourself by. If you surround yourself with prayer, then you're not leaving yourself vulnerable to the devil. He doesn't want to give the devil no room to play with you at all. At all. He doesn't want to give the devil any room to play with you. That's the reason why he says pray. So go ahead. Love your enemies. Thank you.